Writing is hard. Every word in a story matters, and sometimes it's an excruciating process of trying to find a word that you've forgotten or remembering a certain piece of information. There's a lot that goes into tying a story all together, and a lot of editing goes into that. So writing does take a lot of time, thought, and energy. On average, it takes me about 5 to 6 months to write a first draft. And part of that is because I'm also doing animation videos, and I'm also still working at my real job. It's not nearly as fun as this, but I do enjoy it, and it actually gives me real life money, so that's a big plus. Make it rain, baby! What? $16? You can't even give me an extra buck for speaking Spanish? Oh well. It's fine. Everything's fine. I also go through writer's block, just like anybody, but sometimes if that happens, I like to set challenges for myself. Most recently, I was about halfway done writing a book, and I hit a flunk, and I set a challenge to finish the first draft in 2 weeks. I had to write 2,000 words a day, which is a lot for my schedule, but I did it, and it helped me finish it. I was really proud of myself, but it doesn't always work like that. Back in 2020, I was just starting college, and I had almost zero time to write anything. I was also in a bit of a bad place mentally, so I spent most days lying in bed staring at the ceiling. That lasted for about a year. I slowly got better, but through all that time, I didn't write a single word. I had no inspiration, no motivation, nothing. Fast forward a bit to 2022, and I'm watching a movie with my roommates, and I get a text from my mom. It's a video link to a Kickstarter event from Brandon Sanderson. My mom is a huge Brandon Sanderson fan. She reads just about everything by him. At this point, I hadn't ever read anything by him because I was intimidated by the amount of books he's written and didn't know where to start. Not only had I not written anything new at this point, but I also hadn't read anything apart from assigned textbooks from my professors, that kind of stuff. Anyway, I opened the link and watched this video of Brandon Sanderson showing off his newest manuscript that he wrote during the pandemic. Wow, I think. Good for him. I'm glad he could do that. But why are there 10 more minutes in the video? And then I wrote another. Oh, okay. Wow. 2 books. I'm a little jealous, but... And then I wrote another. What? This man pulled out, I think, 5 or 6 complete manuscripts that I think he wrote in the span of 2 years alone. Which to me is insane. How do you do that? I couldn't believe it. I was angry. Mostly at myself, because I hadn't been able to find that same spark in my own writing during the pandemic. But then the Kickstarter also goes viral and gets its goal and more in literally like a day. Less time? I don't remember. I remember being shocked because I was like, how do you get that much money? How do that many people want to read your book? How do you do that? How have you written that much? I can't even get paid properly for being bilingual. People give you that much money for books before they're even published? And you gotta look smug about it too. Why do you look so smug? Long story short, I was livid, and so my one-sided beef was born. But the gift it gave me, amidst all of this, was a supercharge of spite. You see, I had been depressed for a lot of reasons, but one of them was because of some old friends that I had that made me feel like I'd never achieve my dreams. Everyone has one of those friends. I ended up ditching the friends, but the doubt in my heart remained. What if they were right? What if I had a better chance pursuing another career? And I saw that Kickstarter vid, and not only did it make me very angry, but it showed me successful writers do exist. I think my brain did this weird thing where it unconsciously correlated these facts, added a dash of annoyance at my own struggles that I had at the time, pasted Brandon Sanderson's smug little face on there, and bam, a spark. I had an overwhelming urge to prove myself as a writer against this author that I've never met. I was going to do it. I was going to write. If it killed me, if it broke my wrist, whatever it did, I had to write something. I had to make something. And so I put plans together to write. I had a beautiful golden chance opportunity where I had about 5 days off from school where I could write uninterrupted for as long as I wanted. I I prepared, I got everything together, I got the fun snacks, the healthy snacks, I got the comfy clothes, I got my computer charged up, I had my notes out, I was ready to go, and as soon as I could, bam, I was off. I sat down at our dining room table and I just kept writing. I wrote late into the night and got up as early as I could the next day to keep writing. I was knocking out 25,000 words a day. It was insane. Looking back, it's not super healthy what I did. I only got up to use the bathroom and grab scheduled DoorDashes, and I didn't even really eat a lot because I was so focused on writing. Until finally, on the morning of the final day of my goal, just in time before my next class, I wrote those 2 magic words, the end. Eat that, Brandon! Sorry. It's nothing personal, really. Now, to be 100% honest, I wrote something that I already had an idea for, and I had planned out some aspects of it, but I had never written it down. So I wasn't creating something out of nothing, but I was still super proud of myself for pushing through. And not only that, I'd found my writing spark again. I could write. The novel I wrote in those 5 days wasn't amazing. It was actually pretty bad. There were lots of spelling errors, rushed scenes, plot holes. It was a mess, but what was important was that I wrote it. Your first draft is gonna be rough. That's what makes it a first draft. And that's why we have the wonders of editing and beta readers and writing critique groups to help us get better. But your book isn't ever going to exist until you sit down and write that awful first draft. Whatever motivates you, spite or hope or anything else in between, let it drive you to that finish line at whatever pace is most comfortable for you. I don't always have those nice free from responsibilities weekends anymore. I'm always working on something these days, so I have to treat writing a bit like a job and set a time for it, a clock where I can punch in and punch out. But who knows? Maybe I'll get another magical 4-day weekend. Maybe Brandon Sanderson will drop another viral Kickstarter to make history. Also, I just want to say, I fought against reading Brandon Sanderson at first because I was intimidated, but then it was also because of my one-sided beef. And it was doubled because as a fantasy fan, I knew if I read his books, I would enjoy it. But then I had no other choice. My book club last year decided to read Tress in the Emerald Sea. And dang it. This is really good. Now I gotta read all the books. Yeah, now I still have one-sided beef, but I also love it, so gotta go read the Mistborn series and all the other stuff he's written. It's good stuff. Don't think this gives you a free pass, Sanderson. I'm still salty. Now excuse me while I hunker down for the next 10 years to read the entire Cosmere. I know he'll probably have published another 30 books by then, so I'll just find the rest and read them when I'm dead. Bleh. Thanks for watching this video. If you'd like to see more content, you can check out the rest of my channel. I'm also on TikTok. If you'd like to support me in my videos, please hit like and subscribe. Outros are for jerks like Brandon Sanderson. Bye! JK Brandon Sanderson, you're good.